Hi, everyone. Welcome to our next App Talk event. We're so excited to have you all joining. It looks like we have a number of people trickling in already. So while you're jumping in, if you could just let us know in the chat where you're joining from and either how old your little ones are, if you've already had your baby, or if you are expecting when you're due, drop it in the chat. And we'd love to hear from you as everyone is trickling in. And then we'll start with some intros shortly. So we are super excited to continue this series of product office hours, also known as App Talks. These are really geared towards new Nanit users, but everyone, if you've been around with us for a little while, I'm sure you can learn something new in this session anyways. So to those who just joined, feel free to keep letting us know in the chat where you're joining from and how old your little ones are or when you're due if you're still expecting. Looks like we have a 10-week-old and a 2-year-old due in March, Denver, Miami, Vermont. Awesome. I'm coming in from DC and we're about to get a bunch of snow tomorrow. So I'm excited for that. Okay, I think we can go ahead and get started with our intros. Keep dropping in the chat. We'd love to see where y'all are coming in from. So my name is Mackenzie. I am on the brand and community team here at Nanit. So you'll see me around in the Nanit community a lot, as well as doing some behind the scenes work for all things Nanit brand and marketing. And I'm joined today by 2 members of our customer support team, as well as a member of our product team. So I'm going to pass it to you, Bar, if you could kick off the introductions.
Sure. So hi, everyone. I'm Bar. I'm a product manager here at Nanit as part of the product team. As part of my work, we do a lot of conversations and engaging with users to understand their pains and what we want to do and what do we want to develop next and how we can do that in the best way. I'm in Nanit almost 6 years now. Steph, oh my God, I'm getting to you now. So yeah, I'm here. Nice to meet you all.
Awesome. Thank you. And Steph, do you want to take it away?
Sure. So I'm Stephanie. I am the head of customer success here at Nanit. I have been here almost 6.5 years now. This is going to my 7th year, so it's super exciting. I work closely with our customers in a capacity of different ways. Sometimes, just answering questions and helping them understand things of how the app works and how our product works. But super excited to have everyone here. We have a lot of little ones and a lot of people that are expecting very soon, so it's very exciting.
Super exciting. Awesome. And then lastly, we have Christopher.
Hello, I'm Christopher. I work at the customer service department and I'm a senior tech. So when you contact Nanit support, there's a chance you will work with me and I'll help you through any issues you have. I'm coming up on 5 years, I believe in July, I believe. So yeah, getting up there as well. So it's been a fun time.
Awesome. And throughout the conversation, feel free to drop your questions in the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen, and we'll do our best. Christopher will try to answer some typing if he can, and then we'll also save some time at the end of the call for questions with all of us. So feel free to drop those in as we're talking. So super excited for you all to be here. We are going to be sharing out the recording of this session at the end or later today, probably via email. And then everyone everyone on the call so far will get a code to use at mynanit.com for 3 months of the Insights memory plan. So congrats, you all were among the first 100 attendees. And we will send that out by Wednesday, as well as instructions for how to activate it when you're ready. So especially if your baby's not here yet, you don't have to activate it yet. You can wait until they've come. With that, we'll get started. So I'm going to share my screen and give you a quick intro to our physical products, and then we'll jump into the app a little bit more specifically. Okay, so our Nanit ecosystem, you all probably know and already have the monitor. So we have 3 stands. 2 of them are mounted above the crib, so the wall mount and the floor stand. The wall mount is really great if you know where your crib is going to be. You want it to stay in the nursery and just be like affixed to the wall, and it's kind of that central spot. And obviously has the bird's eye view, so you can get everything out of your Nanit app experience. I also really like the floor stand. It's good if you want to start in the bassinet in your room, and then you can just move the floor stand into their nursery once your baby is old enough. They're in a crib. So it's super portable, super flexible, and then also, grows with you if you like move to another room with a toddler bed or something like that. And then we also have our flex stand, which is really good as a addition to one of the 2 stands that I already mentioned. So it's really meant to be the portable alternative so that if you're traveling to your in-laws house or going for a vacation at an Airbnb or even just monitoring around the house, it's really great. You can just pop the camera head off of one of your stationary stands and then pop it onto the flex stand. And then to the right of that, we have our sound and light machine. So this is something that we just came out with about 1.5 years ago, and it's a really great addition to the monitor. So it's a sound and light machine, so white noise plus 10 other sounds that you can choose from, endless color options. And the core of this product is really routines based. So we have built out a bunch of favorites, a bunch of routines, and then also some smart routines that work in partnership with the camera and the sound and light, so that you can help improve your child's sleep and help with their routines. And the best part about the sound and light is that you can, once you've set it up in the sound and light app, you can actually control it in the camera app. So if your baby's starting to stir or getting a little antsy, or you know that the volume in the house is increasing, you can just open the app, the Nanit app, with the monitor that you probably already have open, and then adjust the sound and light controls right there in this app. And then down at the bottom, I just wanted to highlight quickly our breathing wear. So we'll talk a little bit more about how this works later on, but essentially the pattern that's printed onto the breathing wear works with the camera to monitor your baby's breathing motion. And then we do actually have some non-breathing wear sleepwear on our website as well. So if you're in the US, feel free to check that out. Really nice, soft, cozy pajamas. And then other accessories, we have 3 different cases for different products. So we have one that just has the camera, one that just has a sound and light, and then one that has both if you're taking your monitoring setup on the go. All right, I'll pass it over to Stephanie to talk a little bit about our Insights memberships.
Sure. So this is really exciting. I think this is one of the things that really sets us apart from other baby monitors. But each camera, when you purchase one of our cameras, it comes with a 6-month free introduction to our Insights membership. We do have technically 4 different levels because we do have the ability to use the monitor without an Insights membership. There are things that you can do. It works as a regular monitor. You can view the live stream. You can use breathing motion monitoring. And then you have access to our care logs as well. And we're going to go into care logs a little bit deeper in a few more slides. But a lot of you guys said you have brand new babies or babies that are coming, so I'm sure you're really tired. The one thing that you get with Nanit is that with the insights, you're going to get insight into how your baby's sleeping, which is going to help you in the long run. So with the 3 different levels, we have our sleep plan, which provides you with the sleep analytics and some basic it gives you the real-time notifications, but it also gives you the clips. It saves things for 2 days, which is really nice. So you can go back and take a look at the information from a couple days ago. And then it also gives you some memories. We'll go into that in a little bit as well. As the plans go up and you move into our memories plan, you're going to get some more history, which is really nice. And then you're also going to get continuous video recording. So you can actually scroll back and see every moment that's happening in the crib. It also gives you some additional access to parenting teams. And then also you can save some additional memories. Our milestones plan, which is the top tier, is basically giving you unlimited data. It will also allow you to invite 50 people to your parenting team, which is quite a lot, but you never know. People have some big families, and you want to share that with your family and friends, you can. And it also gives you some additional analytics in terms of milestones. And we'll go into these different features in a little bit more in depth. But let us know if you have any questions. I really do think this is something that sometimes our customers miss. They don't realize that they get it. And it's really so nice and critical in helping you getting some extra sleep. We know that our Nanit parents have the 36 extra nights of sleep from using Nanit. So this will really help you understand how your baby's sleeping and what you can do to get them to sleep longer.
Awesome. Thanks, Steph.
Mhm.
And we have a question about, if you could just answer this one about the insights plan, changing from the 12 months to the 6 months. If we could just talk a little bit about that stuff, and kind of why we made that change and what we can do.
Yeah, so it was really, we have added a lot of different features throughout the years. When I first started 7 years ago, all we really had in our insights plan was the sleep analytics. It was very basic. And so it was really, as we continued to grow and develop, we needed to look at our plans and decide what we needed to do in terms of offering features. And we still wanted to offer a trial to all of our customers because we do feel like it is important for you to try it out. And we do feel that, a 6 month plan is, or 6 month trial is very generous as well. In addition to the trials, we do offer discounts on renewals. So we do try and make it very reasonable. But if you ever have any additional questions, feel free to reach out to my team. I'd happy to, review all of that with you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mhm.
Cool. And we actually also recently added breathing motion monitoring to the free plan. So if you
Correct.
might have mentioned this already, but I just wanted to call it out because it used to be part of our insights, but we do that. Parents wanted to have access to it for longer. So that is something that we've added to our insights plan in addition recently, or to not being on our insights plan.
Yes. And just a real quick, you do have to have a plan for each camera. And I know someone just mentioned that it's, can be expensive. Please, if you have multiple cameras, you can reach out to our CS team. We can help you with some discounts to make it affordable. We want to make sure that everyone continues to receive the benefit from these insights. And we are constantly working on different types of packages and, trying to figure out how we can make it affordable for everyone. But in the meantime, you can reach out to CS.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mhm.
And I'm seeing a couple of comments in the chat about notifications being inaccurate on their stand. So feel free to reach out to help@nanit.com for that too, because usually what we do is take a look at the setup and then we can say, oh, we'd recommend shifting this around or adjusting your sensitivity. But without seeing the setup, it's hard to give really specific recommendations. So that's help@nanit.com. Or you can also post in our community, which is community.nanit.com. All right, so let's dive into some more specific features. So we've sectioned it out based on age and stage. So knowing that a lot of you are either in the newborn phase or starting to or about to enter that phase, we're going to start there, but then we'll also talk about how it'll continue to grow with you. So about 70% of our parents actually continue to use Nanit 4 years and beyond. So we really feel like we're supporting not just in that first year in the newborn phase, but well beyond that. So we'll do newborn and beyond, the infant phase, so like 4 to 12 months, and then toddler plus. Okay, Bar, if you could take it away with talking about our live screen and how that's supporting, especially in those early days with the newborn.
Sure. So obviously live monitoring is the base of Nanit, where first of all, monitor and then we're smart and give all insight that we're going to talk about. But just so you know, this is the basic functions that you get in Nanit. It's in all the tiers that Steph mentioned. So we have nature sounds. We have a bit of difference between iOS and Android. So we have the two examples here. Nature sound, we have 5 sounds: white noise, birds, wave, nice and easy sounds that can help your baby fall asleep faster. You can find it in iOS if you open the full screen. It's there, and in Android, it's in the menu that opens. You can also adjust the volume, and you can set a timer if you want to be ended at some point. We also have a nightlight option. So on the other side of our camera, we have a nightlight. It's gently brighten the room. You can also adjust the brightness, and you can also add a timer there. That's also in the live screen of iOS and Android apps. We have a microphone options where you need to tap on it and then long press to record, and then your baby can hear you, can wish them good night and fall asleep quickly, and don't come to mom and dad in the morning. They will come to you. You have an option to rotate the video screen. So we know, like, we recommend for each of the hardware and mounts that Mackenzie mentioned, we recommend on a specific setup, but we know that it's not for everyone and everyone wants to adjust their own nursery. So you can rotate the video in 90 degrees, so it will be easier for you to watch your baby. We have this cool feature that's called night mode. So in Android, it's in the three lines menu, and in iOS, it's in the 3-dot menu. It's night mode. Basically, it's for every parent that watches their baby overnight and just don't want to get all the brightness in their eye, but still keep an eye on the baby. You can enable it, put the device next to you, and just watch your baby through the night very easily. And the last thing we have here is that we have Nanit sound and light, which I think we will talk about it really soon, which we also incorporate into the live screen, where you can easily adjust and change everything around Nanit sound and light.
Awesome. Great. Thank you. Moving on, we'll talk a little bit about, if I can get to the next slide, care logs. So this is another one that's really good for those early stages. Baro, if you could talk a little more about it.
Sure. So we know a lot of parents and especially first-time parents want to verify and ensure everything around their baby's activities. So we have 4 logs in our Nanit app. In the activity tab, you can see it under a plus button in red. We have 4 logs. We have diaper change, bottle feed, nursing, and nap. So in each of them, you can add the type, the amount, the time, everything that you need to know. And I know a lot of parents go after some point, go to the pediatric, and the pediatric ask about it, so that you can show them and remember easily, because it's a free feature, it's open for everyone, and it saves forever. So you can always go back and see. In nursing and nap, we also have the option to just start a timer, because we don't know if it's a past event and already done, or it's something that is ongoing now. So we can also time it. We know a lot of parents in the very beginning, when the baby is newborn and don't know what to do, and need to count dirty diapers and need to count how much bottles they're taking a day. So that's here for you to have everything in one app, and don't need to go and start writing everything, and no need to go to other apps and edit there, but you already have Nanit and it's there. So yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. And I know, at least in the US, a lot of hospitals will ask that you start logging when you're still in the hospital. So if you have your camera already set up before you have left for the hospital, then you can just do it right in the app and not have to download another app and navigate between the two. So this is a really, really awesome feature that we just launched last year, and Bar was super influential in getting it off the ground. So we're really excited. We also are continuing to make improvements. So if you have feedback of different types of logs that you'd want to see once you start using it a little bit. I know we've heard some like medication and other stuff like that. We are collecting that feedback in the community and continuing to talk about how we can make it even better. So just let us know at community.nanit.com.
We had a question come in about where to find this in the app.
Yeah.
Can you explain that? Sorry.
So again, that's exactly what I saw also. In the activity tab, so it's the second tab from the live, you have the red plus button. You can tap on it, and then you will see our 4 logs.
Perfect.
I hope that really soon we can have it in more visible way, so you don't need to find it so hard.
Yeah, get to a little quicker. All right. So I'm going to talk a little bit about one of my personal favorite features. I think this one is fascinating. And when I first learned about it as it was launching, I was just like mind blown that it's something that exists and can happen. So some of you might have heard about torticollis and plagiocephaly, which are not dangerous, but it happens to a lot of babies and can basically like they have a preference of sleeping one side or the other, which can tighten their neck muscles and sometimes get that flat head. So we came out with a feature that actually helps you identify which side of their head they're preferring to sleep on. So when they're really, really little, they don't have the strength of their neck to be able to like turn it back and forth. So usually they'll just end up kind of looking in one direction. And you can actually see with your camera placed over the crib, which way they're tending to prefer. And then with that, you can use that information to adjust the way that they're sleeping. So usually we recommend, as you can see, this is actually one of my coworkers, Caroline's baby. She was preferring her left side of tilting her head to the left side. And she started flipping her baby in the crib. So having her head face different directions towards the door at night, and then also doing more tummy time. And as you can see, it really helped with strengthening her neck muscles and ending up at that like 50-50 almost, which is really awesome. So this is a good one for early on, so you can see what their preferences are and make it some small adjustments to get them sleeping a little bit more even. And then we also have the sleep body position. So this is, as you can see with Sadie, she was still really little, so she was only sleeping on her back. But as they get a bit older and get towards rolling or flipping over in the crib, you can actually start to see that change. And you'll see that as they're approaching developmental milestones, typically you'll see that they are sleeping more on both the back and the belly. So that one's really interesting as well as they're getting a little bit older. Okay, and then next up, I'll talk a little bit about some notifications. So we have a huge suite of notifications that are available to you at different ages and stages. Oh, good question. I'm just going to go back a slide. How do we access this data? So this is on the dashboard. So as long as you have your either a floor stand or a wall mount, and your monitor is set up over the crib, whenever your baby is sleeping, we will capture this information. So if you go to the dashboard tab in the app and scroll down a little bit, you should see the advanced sleep analytics right in the app for you. Okay, so back to our notifications. So as I was mentioning, we have a ton of different notifications available to you. I would definitely recommend going into your settings and just playing around with what the different ones are, turning some off, turning some on. And we also have adjuster like sliders for our motion and sound. So you can say what level of sensitivity you want to see. So when they're younger, it might be beneficial to have really high sensitivity so that you get a notification every time they like move or grunt or roll around in the crib as they get a little bit older. And then as they get older, you might not want to know about every single one of those. So you could pull back your sensitivity and turn on something like cry detection, which can actually filter out other sounds and just gives you a notification when they are, the camera detects crying. And then another one in the early phases, especially, is temperature and humidity. So you can look on your live screen and see the temperature and humidity live reading, but we also have an ability to set up a notification. So you can say what range you feel comfortable with the temp and humidity being, and then the app will give you a notification if it goes outside of that range. So definitely go in and check these out, play around with a little bit, and let us know if you have any questions. And then Steph, could you talk a little bit about breathing motion monitoring, how it works, and recommendations for setup?
Yeah, absolutely. I know that Chris just posted about anyone who has questions about starting their trial early to please contact help at Nanit. There's been a lot of discussion in the chat right now about wanting to delay your start of the insights. A couple things I want to point out: that anytime you reach out to CS or anytime you contact community, we do take that feedback back to the other departments. And a lot of our features that we have developed throughout the years are because of what our customers were looking for. And our insights plan is always evolving, and we are always trying to make it as affordable to our customers as possible. So your feedback is always welcome, and we're always here to help you with anything that you need. So please reach out, and my team will help you. So breathing motion monitoring. Do we have we have a slide on that?
It's just on the right hand of this slide.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I thought there was a sorry about that. So breathing motion monitoring is included with your camera. You do not need an insights plan for this. And the way that it works is when your child or baby is using wearing a piece of the breathing wear, it has the special unique pattern, and our camera can detect the motion of the rise and fall of the chest. And when it doesn't detect this, it will actually sound an alarm to both your camera and to your phone, so you go and check on your baby. It's a really nice feature. I know a lot of parents have some anxiety. This will really help soothe some of that anxiety. And I think a lot of parents, I think, like it too when their baby's not feeling well, they're sick, they might have a cold, they want to track them a little bit more closely. And we have different types of breathing wear that you can use with the system. So you can find something that is, whatever your baby prefers, we have a solution for you. Um, so yeah, any questions on breathing motion monitoring?
No? All right, we can move along.
Okay.
Okay, so that was the infant phase. All of these features continue to benefit or can continue to benefit you past that, of course, but now we're going to talk a little bit about the infant phase and beyond that. And so this is really that like 3 to 4 month mark when you might want to be starting about independent sleep for your child, and also just seeing their development really exploding. There's so much that happens within this phase. And so we're here to help you through that phase as well. Okay, so first up on the top left is the welcome message. So this is something that you can basically gives you a snapshot of what the last thing that happened with your baby in their crib was. So right when you open the live screen, you'll see the welcome message and see if their bed was attended or if they were taken out of the crib, when they fell asleep, whatever that last thing was, so that you can just open it up and see, okay, that's what just happened. I can leave them to sleep for a little bit longer or whatever decision making you need to make after that. This is something that is basically a short snippet of what is showing on our dashboard, which is on the right-hand side of the screen. And the dashboard is where you can do that data deep dive to understand so much about their sleep. So how long they were asleep for, when they went to bed, when they woke up, what their sleep efficiency was, and the head and body position that I mentioned previously. So this is really where you'll get like every single piece of information you could possibly want about your baby's sleep. And we have both a day view and a night view. So you can look at like what their night looked like last night and then what their day looked like the day before to maybe compare it to today or get a sense of what might be impacting their mood or their behavior the following day. We also can show this on a weekly or a monthly view. So this is super helpful to see trends with your baby. This on the bottom right is actually one of my coworker Melanie's dashboard, and you can see how his sleep changes over time. So at the beginning, I think it was March of last year, he was sleeping about 5.5 hours a night within this month. And then just a couple months later in May, he was sleeping 8.5 hours. And then by July, he was sleeping 10.5 hours, which is amazing. So it's really cool to be able to look at this over a long period of time to see the progress that your baby is making. And then you can also look on a more drilled down view day by day to understand, why certain things might be happening or what improvements you might want to make. And then another thing that we provide in the app is sleep and age related tips. So these are based on a combination of your baby's age as well as what the camera is tracking with the data that we're taking in. And then we'll give you recommendations to help you based on your age and stage or your baby's sleep patterns to help you all get some more sleep. So everything on here is included in your insights plan except age-related tips. Those are part of the free plan. And again, if you have your camera mounted over the crib with either a wall mount or a floor stand. Okay, and then Bar, I'd love to have you talk a little bit about memories. This is one of parents' favorite features. We always hear about morning pickups, but tell us a little bit about those and about everything else that Memories provides.
Sure. So I really love this tab because everything around Nanit is so urgent. Where's the baby? What's he doing? How long are they asleep? And that's the point of like, wait, your baby is actually really, really cute. And you need to remember that in the midst of everything that's so hard. So that's the cute and fun tab. It's the last tab in the navigation bar. There you can save all like cute events that you see and you want to see it for longer time. Nanit is also automatically captured and compile, like you mentioned, Mackenzie, like cute moments, like morning pickups that you wake up and go and waking up your baby, or they waking up you and say good morning, pick them up from the crib. Like and milestones like longest stretch and stuff like that we recognize that happened in the crib, and we celebrate with you. So it's very cute. There's also sounds and animation, and that's the really nice part of being a parent. Remember how wonderful and what an amazing thing you did. So I really love this tab. Yeah.
They're so great. And it's amazing how much you forget from the newborn phase and from those early months, that when your baby's a year and a half old, you're like, oh my gosh, I can't, like, it's just great to have the memories right in the Nana app. And you can also share these with friends and like download them to your phone or share them with your family. And it's a really special way to make sure you're capturing those things that otherwise, you're not in the room with them when they're sleeping every single night. So it's really special to have those memories that you otherwise wouldn't have footage of.
Right. And you also can see it after, like, if your plan is ended, you can still see it. You can't capture anything new because you need a plan for it, but everything that you already saved and captured is there. So that's also cool.
Yeah. Steph, will you talk a little bit about developmental milestones?
Sure. So in our milestones plan, we have what we call developmental milestones automatically captured. I think this is such a great feature because we know that when you put your baby in your crib, your baby is going to practice things and learn how to do things. And you may miss that because you're not right there, but Nanit camera is actually going to capture that for you. And so there's so many different things that will capture, like in this video, the baby rolling from the back to the belly, your baby sitting, your baby lying on your back and then sitting, standing. So all of these milestones that are like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this happened. And I can remember with my son, um, I had him in the room. I walked out for a second. He was like on his back, and all of a sudden he was on his belly, and I missed him rolling for the first time. So this is such a really great feature that Nana will let you capture those memories without missing them. So again, that's with the developmental milestones plan. And we have unlimited in terms of saving memories for that. And so it's just a really great feature. I think that a lot of our customers really do enjoy it. Sorry, I'm losing my voice from screaming for the football game last night. There's oh, okay, Chris, you did answer the one about the flex stand. The flex stand doesn't include the sleep analytics because you do need that bird's eye view, but we do offer the floor stand, which I think is a solution for a lot of our customers, that you can bring it into your room, because we know that a lot of our parents do have the baby in their room before they move into the nursery.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, so that was the infant phase. Now we're going on to toddlerhood. So it actually looks like some of you are in this phase already with your first baby, but for those of you who aren't quite there yet, we'll just breeze through a couple features that can help support you when you get a few years down the line. Bar, could you kick it off with video history?
Yeah, so as Steph mentioned in the beginning, that's a premium feature that we have. Depend on your plan. If your memories are milestone, you have 2 days or 7 days of like running video, and not just the moment that Nanit picks up and found that it's cute, but you can see 24 hours of your baby and what they're doing in the crib. We know that, like, before we had this feature, a lot of parents asked for it because they want to see what happened before and what happened 2 minutes before they get the sound event, and what happened 3 minutes after the baby fell asleep, and what happens. So that's really cute moment, and you can also like watch really fast what's going on over the night. We know that some parents found really cute moment between siblings and between cat and pets and their babies due to this. So it's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. And like this example where the baby was, or toddler is being a little bit cheeky. This is our older floor stand, so it wasn't quite as sturdy as the new floor stand version too.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Steph, could you tell us a little bit about the next phase of notification? So you'll still
Yeah.
continue to have, just to jump in before you jump in here, you'll still continue to have the ability to edit all of the notifications I mentioned previously, but these are some add-on notifications that you can grow into.
Yeah. These are some of, I think, as we started to grow as a company, we realized that our customers really needed some of these notifications. And I think they're really helpful as your baby's getting into that toddler stage. Because eventually around the time frames that your baby might start standing, but you might have someone who, your baby starts standing a little bit earlier than you expected. So you have a notification now that you can set. This is really helpful so that your baby's standing. You may have to lower the crib mattress, and you might need to make sure that your baby's not an escape artist. When I first started here, people would send me videos of their babies escaping out of the crib, and some of them were really cute, but obviously it can be dangerous. So we want to make sure that you have that notification right away so you can check on your baby. Um, One of our newest features is their child out of bed. So that transition to that toddler bed is a big one. And it's hard because they're not really contained. And so how do what do you do? So now we have the child out of bed that will let you know that your child is moving and getting to ready to go out of bed, and you can go and check on your child again. Um, Again, for safety purposes, we wanted to make sure that you had those notifications. And then alert zone is really nice for when you're using the flex stand. You can set an area. So maybe you have the flex stand in your play area and you set a little motion area so that if your baby or toddler tries to move out of that area, it's going to send you a notification so that you can react and make sure that your child is safe. So all things that will help you grow with your baby.
Awesome. And then the last thing I'll mention, which is kind of related to the baby standing and child out of bed, is our okay to wake feature. So that actually works. It uses the sound and light and the camera together to create basically a smart routine. So the light on the sound and light machine will only turn on when your baby has sat up or stood up in bed or in their crib. And it's really cool because, a traditional okay to wake clock, we know that they work really well. We know how impactful they are to helping toddlers understand routines and adjust to being more independent. But we don't want them to wake up with the light turning on at the okay to wake time if they're not already awake, right? So the idea here is that once they sit up or stand up, then the sound and light will turn on with either the no color, so usually that would be a red, or the yes color, usually that is a green, depending on what time it is. So if okay to wake is at 7 a.m. and they wake up at 6:30 and they sit up, then they'll get a red light, and then at 7 o'clock, it'll change color. Or if they wake up at 7:30, it'll just go straight to green and they'll know that it's okay to be awake. So this one is super, super cool. And I think we're going to continue to develop additional sleep routines between the sound and light and the camera. So if you have specific ones that you would love to see or that would be really helpful to your routine, please reach out to us in the community. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And then one other thing that's not on here, but I wanted to mention, is the two-way audio. So we talked about this in one of the very first slides, but especially as your child gets a little bit more thoughtful and curious, two-way audio is really nice to be able to, without having to go into the room, just like check in on them. And if they're about to get out of the crib, you can turn on the two-way audio and talk to them and say, hey, I see what you're doing. You better stay in bed, or something like that. Or, if they wake up from a nightmare, it can be really soothing to hear your voice without you having to go in and maybe disrupt their sleep routine. So that's another one that I recommend using throughout their whole life, but especially in the toddler times. And that's all we have for our presentation today. So I'm just going to take a quick look at the chat. If anybody has any last minute questions, feel free to drop those in the Q&A. We'd love to help answer them. It looks like a lot were already answered. So thank you, Christopher, for being helpful in the chat so much. And thank you all for sharing your questions. If there's anything that we don't get to before the end of the session, just reach out, help@nanit.com, or in the community. We'll be there ready to answer. So it looks like we don't have any more coming in, so we can go ahead and wrap up. So thank you all so much for joining. Everyone who's on the call right now is going to get that memories, 3 months memories code. So we'll send you out an email later today with the recording of the session, as well as instructions for how to activate the code. And we'll send out the code probably today, but maybe in the next couple of days. And if you have any trouble with activating it, just let us know. The code is activated at mynanit.com. So thank you all for joining, and we'll see you around in the community very soon. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Have a good week.